Guys, the Legion is actually legit returning. Until recently I was speculating about this, but the new Midnight book just dropped a ton of new juicy info. A legit eredar commander tried to start a new invasion in the midst of all this void drama at midnight as he had infiltrated the Broken Isles. However, now we learn from other demons that they had actually inhabited a part of Outland post-Legion, and the demon armies are vast and powerful on worlds we had never seen. They have been expanding in the shadows, they just need new leadership. Even more interestingly, they started developing and evolving abilities. We just learned that this eredar managed to take on dreadlord infiltration tactics. So something is definitely brewing up with the Legion, and let's check out all this new info because Blizzard is definitely setting something up with these guys. While having the best deals on the market for all games and software, Gamivo just added mobile top-ups for your favorite mobile games with the best prices that you can get with my Gamivo link in the description below. Best of all, if you use my code DORON, your discount will be even bigger, so make sure to use my link in the description and the code and check out Gamivo. I've been actually talking about the return of the Burning Legion for ages now, and most of it was previously just based on speculations, maybe some tiny hints we had gotten, some, of course, reaches and such, but we just got a new book about a week or two back that is the prequel to Midnight, and so far this is the most up-to-date state of the Burning Legion, and I gotta say it is actually pretty shocking. I wasn't honestly expecting that Blizzard would start developing the Burning Legion this early. We also got some more info on demons and the Burning Legion in Midnight itself, so this paints a much more clear picture. The book, Blood Ties, is essentially the lead-up to the story of Midnight, and the book, as the title states, is mainly about Terrellian, Alleria, and Erator family and how different they all are. However, seeing that this is a prequel into the Void Invasion, which is Midnight, you would imagine like this book would be about Xal'atath setting up the whole thing and like the follow-up to the War Within, but it is something entirely different. It's about how literally they prevented a new Burning Legion invasion, and it's mostly happening on the Broken Isles, so that kinda came out of nowhere. What we've learned from this book is that demons are active, and when I say active, I mean active. We've learned a few things when the Legion was defeated. Many of the surviving demons actually fled to Outland and inhabited parts of it. We've learned that since Legion, the druids have began to heal much of the fell-scarred areas of the Broken Isles. Today, the Broken Isles are a lot different than we had seen them, even though that is not really reflected in the game. It hasn't really been updated in the game. We've also learned that demons are working hard behind the scenes to restart the Legion, and we've learned that a number of demons were actually trained by the dreadlords, or at least they've picked up on this ability to infiltrate mortal civilizations. So some demons that we had never seen before are now able to shapeshift like this and take on various roles, which is honestly huge foreshadowing for what is to come in the future. In fact, I think this entire book, despite being a prequel for Midnight, is foreshadowing for Return of the Legion, and I'll give you the summary in a bit, but really, we've only stopped a single commander. There is much more going on behind the scenes with this Legion stuff. So we got a scout mission because something strange is going on, and it is uncovered that the Soul Engine at the heart of the Fell Soul Hold near Suramar has been reignited, which kinda came out of thin air, and it gets everyone on high alert. A nearby Nightborn encampment was raided by fell bats all of a sudden, and they used the prisoners as salt to fuel the engine, which means this was definitely an organized attack. Talestra and Lortimar realized that a new Legion invasion of Azeroth may actually be happening, and they have to prevent it ASAP. So to see this, we actually go to the tomes of Akindon, and as we've learned, a lot of demons fled there, and we encounter a demon there that kinda blurts out some info that the Legion is growing behind the scenes on worlds beyond Azeroth. They are in fact rebuilding, and what we are seeing now is just a tiny bit of it. Like, Legion is definitely cooking something behind the scenes. Then we go back to the Fell Soul Hold on the Broken Isles, and we realize that the Soul Engine has gotten significantly stronger, and this is becoming a pretty big problem right now. We've realized that the person responsible behind this is an eredar lord by the name of Sarotar that is able to transform into the shape of any mortal form. As I said, some demons have acquired the abilities of dreadlords. We don't really get the detailed account of all of this, but seeing that it's an eredar lord, and this was probably a high-ranking commander back when Legion was a thing. Definitely not on the shape of like Archimon or Killer Jaden, but he was probably a pretty powerful guy. Sarotar is intelligent enough to realize that he shouldn't just straight out fight us, he just began the process, and if Azeroth's armies come, he is gone, so he swiftly departs, and then later down the line, he actually manages to summon a horde of demons to fight together with him, which means he definitely wields quite a bit of power. Now, Tyrellian here just gets pissed off, he's enveloped by his own wrath, and he uses the light to utterly annihilate Sarotar, which is also foreshadowing for Midnight, showing us how powerful the light is, but also how crazy it can get and how uncontrollable it can be. Then after that happens, we realize that Sarotar has been playing us the whole time, and in fact, we kill his rival demon called Varaskar while he gathers more power. Then Alator comes in and pours light into the soul engine itself, overloads it to the point of explosion, and then uses his power to shield from the blast that ultimately obliterates the actual eredar Lord Sarotar, thus stopping this new Burning Legion invasion that was just about to get out of hand. So the book stops a legit Legion invasion, and of course, this wasn't on the same scale of an invasion as when Sargeras was the leader, so it was like super crazy organized, but still, he had connections across various worlds, he was setting up a power source right under our nose on Azeroth, and most importantly, we've learned that the demons have actually started evolving. Now, something I want to really quickly mention is that Blizzard is further developing demons as a whole. Like, actually, we learned a whole new planet is inhabited by the Burning Legion defectors in Midnight that has turned to the good side. These demons on this planet abandoned the Legion and all cosmological forces, decided to live together with the Draenei for thousands of years, even going as far as taking their rituals and customs. So, Blizzard is definitely developing demons as more than just simple peons, but nonetheless, the malicious element is still definitely there. This new book revealed a huge amount of info. First about the demon refuge in Outland, but also we got a small hint that the demon numbers are growing significantly across various planets, not just Azeroth. As you can see, commanders are vying for supremacy. Actually, as you can see here, even this minuscule invasion, like this Eredar Lord had a rival demon commander that he wanted to get rid of, but it is happening, so the most cunning and the powerful guy should eventually come out on top. Furthermore, something that is really interesting to mention is that we did defeat Sargeras back in Legion and the top of the Burning Legion and their main engine, we destroyed it, that was empowering them. But you need to keep in mind, I mean, the Burning Legion was incredibly vast with bases across so many different planets that they had conquered over the thousands of years they had ruled. None of these were destroyed, I mean, many of them were kept in completely good conditions. Now, we don't really have the details, maybe there was a lot of civil strife, but it's important to note that we destroyed the leadership and the engine of the Legion, but not the infrastructure, which was really their biggest strength, so all of that is definitely still a thing. Furthermore, as you can see, they're actually evolving and developing new abilities. We had never seen them before taking on dreadlord abilities, and I also think this dreadlord ability may be a hint for something happening with the dreadlords. You can see my previous video where I covered this topic, but I still think it is possible that Denetrius could be the true mastermind that could eventually take over the Legion. As you can see here, a relatively minor Eredar Lord managed to gather some aura to develop a small offensive, but even he faced a bunch of obstacles. In turn, Denetrius is much more intelligent, much more ancient, and has operated far more complex missions and operations. So really, by the way they had set it up, it is definitely possible that the Legion may actually be returning soon. Until recently, this was a more wild speculation based on some data, but now Blizzard really seems to be building this up. Thanks for watching, and check out the new leak of the ending of Midnight, at least the first chapter, by clicking on the screen, and also check out my video on Greek mythology and the Titans that I've recorded live on site in Italy by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time!